But another part of it is that we want to help people get better at golf and ultimately enjoy the game a little bit more. So the stroke savers are things from different books, different YouTube videos, Golf Digest magazines, anything that we come across, we kind of zoom in on that and we do a little bit of a deep dive into it. So that's the new and improved Reggie stroke saver. And tonight, Reggie, what do we got going on?
Tonight's stroke saver is titled Trust Yourself. This one's a modified version of the batter's box introduced to us by Ches in an earlier episode. A pre-shot routine begins with the player standing behind the ball looking at the target. In thinking mode behind the ball, it's time to analyze and develop strategy. Consider the following. How's the lie? What's the distance? How strong is the wind? Once you've committed to how you're going to play the shot, it's time to cross the line. It's time to get your head out of the way so that your body can perform. It's time to switch into trusting mode. Trust your swing and focus 100% on the target. You can't be thinking and swinging at the same time. You must be 100% committed to each shot. If there are doubts in your mind, your muscles won't know what to do. Let your routine switch you from thinking mode into trusting mode. A slightly altered version taken from Mind Gym, an athlete's guide to inner excellence. It's funny, like every week, Jory, you're finding these stroke savers, and as I'm reading them, I feel like every person in the three of us, every person in the chat can relate to all of these and put their own golf game into perspective into these stroke savers. And whether or not you're a scratch or you're a 5, a 10, a 15, it doesn't matter. You can find your way to modify the stroke saver into how it changes your game or how it affects your game. And yeah, it's that one line, you can't be thinking and swinging at the same time, is so accurate. The only time you ever golf good is when you're not thinking about your golf swing. Really.
Which is why I golf great when I'm pissed.
Exactly. 100%, man, honestly. No, that's true, though. It's so
No,
true.
I know that.
And the one thing that I wanted to say on this was that I did put this, because Ches was talking about this during the summer, and I did put this into practice. I tested it out on the course, and the results that I had were phenomenal. It was like night and day, the best rounds of the summer when I was thinking like that, the batter's box. But the one thing that I kind of had a hard time going forward was just how this, what do you call it, stick-to-itiveness, like sticking. It's hard to just, when you're golfing, to think of batter's boxes. Like it, I
Every
had
time.
trouble sticking in my head. But I really like the thinking mode into trusting mode. I like the wording there, for one, the trusting part of it. And the thinking aspect is you cross the line, it's like a batter's box. You can kind of visualize that, but then you also have the words there to kind of reinforce that. And I think that just having both the batter's box and the wording of the thinking to the trusting, I really like that. And I think that that is something that I will be implementing for 2024 season. And I think that this time it'll stick around, because as I said, that was the best golf I played during the summer, was when I was thinking about the batter's box and putting that into practice and focusing only on the target once you cross that line.
I have a hard time keeping myself in that. So, like George said, I did it for one round, maybe 2 rounds, and then it's not in my repertoire, and then it's gone, and never to come back until somebody brings it up. So it's like, oh shit, well I could do that. Why don't we just do that? So,
But let's face it, like, I mean, you're not alone in that category, Drums. I mean,
no,
you show up to the golf course and you go across into the pro shop. You have to be sociable there. You have to talk to the people in there, pay for your green fee, get your cart. You have to go into the clubhouse, get your beers, be sociable there. Then you get to the foursome that you're golfing with. You're trying to hold a conversation with them while also trying to keep your partner in it, while also trying to keep your own game in it. It's very, very, very hard to have enough time in your brain to think of something like this. Whereas if you're golfing on your own, it's so easy to do that because you're only there with yourself. You're only there. And that's why guys do play very good when they're by themselves, because they can really focus on those things. There's no outside distractions, and it's hard to be a social golfer and put all this stuff into play while you're out there, because you're out there trying to socialize with people who deal with you in business, and you're out there trying to socialize with people who are talking about everything. You're talking about sports, you're talking about all this, and then you're expected to have all these thoughts that we talk about on here. It seems like it makes so much sense when we're on here, but it's actually putting it into play while you're doing this, while you're doing that. It's a juggling thing. And then if you can do that at that time, and like you said, George, those were some of the best rounds you played when you remembered to do it, right?
Yeah.
And what we're trying to do here is give people those things that might stick in those times, right? The easiest things to do to prepare yourself to play the best golf while still maintaining a social aspect of golf, really.
Yes. But the thing that really stood out to me with this specific segment was that it said to work this into your routine so you can switch from thinking mode into trusting mode. That's what I think the key is, because if you can build a strong enough pre-shot routine where it doesn't matter who you're with, it doesn't matter if you're by yourself, if you're with your buddies, if you're playing a match or in a tournament, if your pre-shot routine it's usually the same regardless of who you're playing with. Some days it might be a little bit faster, but that's kind of on you to develop that pre-shot routine. I think that no matter who you're playing with, that part of it, that if that's what you like, the thinking into trusting the batter's box, if that's something that helps you, you have to work that into your pre-shot routine.
Agreed, 100%.